Hello students, this video is about area using sine, how to find the area of triangles. Now you already know how to find the area of a triangle if that triangle happens to be a right triangle. If you can already see what the height and the base are, in this case it looks like my base is this letter B and the height coming up here is A. You know to find the area of a triangle by multiplying 1/2 base times height, or in this case 1/2 B times A. 1/2 B times A. Now, what if it's not a right triangle? Like this triangle. And what if we do not know what the height is? If you don't know the height, you can figure it out using sine. Look at just this right triangle on this side here. If I look at this triangle, I can say that the sine of angle A is my opposite side. This would be my opposite. Here would be my hypotenuse of this triangle, and down here would be my adjacent. Taking my O and my H, the sine of angle A is O over H, which is H over C. Sine is the height over C. Now that allows me to solve for H by multiplying both sides of this by C. When I multiply this equation by C, these cancel, and I'm going to have C times the sine of A equals H. Now that I know what my height is, I can write the equation for the area of this triangle. The area is 1/2 base times height. 1/2 base, which is my B, times my height. And I just found out my height is this. So 1/2 B times C sine A. And this C sine A I just got from right here when I solved for H. So the formula that you have to memorize is that the area equals half the product of the sides times the sine of the included angle. The B and the C are two sides of the triangle. You multiply them together and you multiply times the sine of the angle in between. Let's look at an example of what that means. Here we're asked to find the area. The area of a triangle equals 1/2 B times C times the sine of the angle that's in between those two sides. So here I see my area is going to equal 1/2 multiply the sides, 6.4 times 7.2, then multiply by the sine of the angle that's in between them, so the sine of 43. And that's it. You can put this directly in the calculator to get the answer. Okay, what about in this next problem? It looks like I have more information to choose from, so which numbers do I use in my formula? Well, I need to pick any two sides I want and then use the angle that's in between them. So I need to pick two sides where I know an angle. If I want to do it the exact same way I did this one, I can use this 35 as my angle. The two sides that touch the 35 are the 15 and the 8.2. So one way that I could write this is like this. 1/2 times the 8.2 times the 15 times the sine of the angle inside 35. And if I put that in my calculator, I get 35.2. But I didn't have to use the 35. I could have used the 28. If I want to use the 28 as my angle, which two sides do I need to use for my B and C? Well, I need to use the two sides that are touching the 28 on either side of it. So I could have written it like this, using the 10 and the 15 and the angle between them being 28. If I put that in my calculator, I get the same answer. Alright, one more example. When I look at this example, it does not look like I have enough information to actually find the area of this triangle. First, I see it does have a 90-degree angle, so my first thought might be base times height. But I don't know what the base is down here, and I don't know what the height is. In order to use the formula, we would have to know the 12, the 25, we would also have to know this side down here. We would have to know these two angles, this side down here, so that we know two sides and the angle in between them. So we need to figure out what this side is. Let's call it x. Thankfully, this is a right triangle. That will allow us to use SOHCAHTOA to get our answer. When we're using SOHCAHTOA, first label the sides O, A, and H. The hypotenuse is the longest side. The opposite side is across from the angle. And the one touching the angle is the adjacent. So it looks like I have my H and my A. H and A tells me to use cosine. So the cosine of my angle, which is 25, is A over H, x over 12. It looks like the x is in the numerator in the top of the fraction, so I can get my answer for x by multiplying. That means that x equals 12 cosine 25. That's 10.9. So now that I know that x is 10.9, now I can do my formula to get the answer. 1/2 multiply the sides times the sine of the angle in between. That's 1/2, 12 times 10.9, times the sine of the angle in between 25. And when I put that in my calculator, I get 27.6 for my area.